Hi guys, Editing Rob here, just popping in real quick with a bit of a heads up. In this video, I do my best to stay pretty positive, and it starts off kind of sort of that way, but then it kind of like spirals. So if you are looking for something with a little bit more pep, because I know that we try to keep in our positive headspaces sometimes, be sure to go ahead and check out yesterday's video, which I will leave up in the top corner, about the overrated and underrated Warframe. Plus, there's a couple of videos from a little bit earlier this week that are a bit of fun as well, so definitely check those out. But if you're not Reddit levels of sensitive, definitely go ahead and tune on in, because there are some things that I really need to say with the new Echoes of Umbra thing that's going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it off to Past Rob. Boop. Hey, what's up my positive little papayas? This is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and today on The Daily Grind, we're gonna have a little bit of a chat about the Echoes of Umbra. Now, I do have a bit of a disclaimer. In an attempt to stay positive alongside the rest of my papayas, I did go ahead and take a nap. I went ahead and gathered my thoughts. I actually put together a little bit of an outline so that I could stay on script instead of getting all ranty about this. However, if I am going to keep it 100 with you guys, I'm probably going to ditch the script 100% and just let you know how I feel, because there are some things that need to be said about this. Now, for those of you guys who have absolutely no clue what the Echoes of Umbra are, this was actually something that was revealed on the latest Prime Time. Now, as you guys know, in the next mainline update, we are getting an expansion to the really fun game mode Disruption. Now, one of the biggest issues with Disruption is that they never gave us rewards that were really worth going back for. You kind of got your Hexen on and you built whatever thing you need to build, and then you never went back. However, DE is gonna kind of solution that with some new rewards. So I was really excited. I was like, oh, okay, well, I wonder what new rewards are going to put in. Well, the Echoes of Umbra is one of those new rewards. Now, with this expanse, we are getting 5 new nodes, and 2 of those nodes, at least from my understanding, are supposed to be a bit more difficult, which was namely one on Lua and one in the Kuva Fortress. Now, I'm very excited about the Kuva Fortress one still, mainly because of the fact that it's going to be another way to get Kuva, and I'm really curious to see what the payout is going to be like on that one. But on Lua, they were kind of holding back a little bit. They didn't want to give away all the information, but there was going to be a new reward, and now it has finally seen the light of day. It is the Echoes of Umbra, and actually it's going to be Part 1 you'll be able to find on Lua, and then Part 2 you'll be able to find on the Kuva Fortress, and you'll have to put them together. I'm assuming you're going to have to build it in the Foundry or something along those lines. Now, for those of you guys wondering what these Echoes of Umbra are going to do, is you'll actually be able to go into the Helmuth Chamber of your Order. I know finally we get to see it again, which is really excited. And basically what happens is you get to infuse one of your Warframes with the Echoes of Umbra. Sounds really cool, right? So what ends up happening is your Warframe becomes sentient and is able to fight alongside your operator, just like Umbra is. However, they are limited to only using the weapons you have equipped and no abilities. DE wanted to make sure that you're not going to be able to exploit anything whatsoever. They did also mention that affinity share is on between you and that Warframe, so they said that it would really help people out to level up their amps. I want you to take note of that, okay? And on top of all that, before we get into anything else, DE has stated that they are taking feedback on this. So if you do want to chime in, I highly suggest you go to the forums and leave constructive feedback. Because the icing on top of that entire cake is all of these wonderful effects only last for 24 hours. And their reasoning behind the fact that it's only lasting 24 hours is they wanted to make sure that you guys had something to go back and farm for. So let's have a little bit of a chit-chat about this. I don't know who came up with this terrible idea. I don't know a single person that wants to be able to make their Warframe sentient. I mean, if you are one of those people, please leave that down in the comments below. I really highly invite it. Give me your reasoning as to why it would be a great thing. Because we didn't want that. We wanted Umbra Warframes. There's a big difference between an Umbra Warframe and being able to instill a fleeting essence of Umbra into one of your Warframes. only for 24 hours so that we could go back and farm it for something that I don't really think anybody really wanted. So let me go ahead and have a chat about my current positioning on this. Again, I always have to state this. There are the forums. DE is taking feedback, so this is not a permanent thing. You know, they might go back and tweak a couple things so it's a little bit better. But my issue is Lua and the Kuva Fortress are supposed to be higher end tile sets, right? It's supposed to be difficult. So who in that player range is really looking at this specific reward and saying, that's what I want. That is what I wanted to be rewarded for my time. Now, for me, this is an issue because it's this consistent disconnect that DE has with their more dedicated players, the players who've really ground out everything and have played so much of the game already, the ones that are devoted to them through all of the content droughts, and you're saying, your Warframe can now fight by your side, but only for 24 hours. What is the thought process behind this, right? There is nobody that I've seen that's asking for this, nobody that's desiring this, and nobody that's desiring it to a point where they want to farm it constantly in order to have that effect going on their Warframes, right? In addition to that, you made sure that there was no crazy interactions by stopping the Warframes from using their abilities, right? So we don't even get any kind of cool, like, crossover, you know, power usage from either one of them, right? So part of me is like, it's neutered, and it's also not that interesting. So a part of me is kind of like, as a higher tier player, we want some sort of progression. So give us something that can unlock a deeper progression system. Maybe instead of, you know what? Actually, let's move on to my to my next point before I get too carried away with that, because that ties into something else. The thing that disturbs me the most about all of this, not just the fact that I feel like whoever created this seems to be disconnected from the players they're creating it for, is that DE is bad, really, really bad, at supporting their game modes. And when I say supporting their game modes, adding in new rewards, adding in desirable things for players to go back to. I mean, what did we get in the last arbitrations? Number one, arbitrations is borked, and I will never go in there, at least not go in there publicly, because of the fact that we have to deal with burdens. That was a great addition. But in addition to that, what was the last thing that they added in there that is truly and genuinely desirable, that you absolutely need to go back for? So why aren't they adding into this game mode? It's because they have a bad track record of making sure that their loot tables are taken care of and that are driving people back to those loot tables to actually want to play those game modes. And then I don't want to say that they do it, but in my mind, then DE inherently blames the failures of those game modes and say, well, nobody's playing these game modes. Well, nobody's playing those game modes because you're not putting any rewards in. You're not doing anything new to keep players engaged. And when I see Echoes of Umbra, what I see is DE's really shitty attempt at trying to keep us farming a node and not wanting to create any new content for it. They expect these Echoes of Umbra to be the thing, right? This is what's gonna keep them locked in because it only lasts for 24 hours and they need to consistently go back and get it. Yeah, but you gave us something that's not worth going back to get. Do you understand that? So on two levels, we have that disconnect. And on the other level, it's them stating, or at least maybe not stating, but like kind of putting out through their own actions that we don't want to keep developing rewards for our game modes. So we're going to try to create something evergreen that we don't ever have to add into this because people are going to want these Echoes of Umbra so bad because they only last 24 hours. So for me, I'm like, wait, but we don't want it, but you're gonna make us farm it. No. You need to stay on top of creating new compelling rewards for your game modes. Whether you're going in there and introducing weapons that need Vitus Essence from the arbitrations in order to craft them, whether it's Warframes that need that Vitus Essence, so players are like going in to play those game modes in order to get the resources for it, Or you're introducing new rewards that players actually want to get their hands on. So part of me is like, you're not giving us really cool rewards and you're putting them on a 24-hour time limit. Do you not see that people don't want this and they're not gonna go there for it because it's not worth their effort, at least from what we've seen so far? Then the last little bit that I wanted to touch on is kind of like something that I was gonna say earlier is, and I'm gonna make sure that we don't break NDA here, but DE has a plethora of Warframe partners. A couple less these days, but you know what I mean? They have a plethora of people that they can reach out to and have recently reached out to, not gonna give you any details on that, to brainstorm some ideas for them. So clearly you have the resources to go and get information from people that are playing your game, from people that are really involved in these things. But yet, internally, what you came up with was something that was so crazily disconnected. Instead of checking with the people that are like really entrenched in your game and what they want, you decided to come up with something off of the wall and try to make it evergreen so that you never have to like re-up on that game mode. So I don't understand why you don't just reach out to those people to say, listen, is this something that you think, you know, maybe that we could do? Or if it's not, could you tell us what you think would be something that people would go back for? So for me, this launch is a little like, ooh, what? No, I don't. This is not great. Now, the last thing that I do want to close out with, because I was going to make a couple comments about the new guitar mode, you know, Guitar Hero BS thing, but Steve did tweet this out, and I wanted to kind of make note of this and say that he's to a level right. He said, also, yeah, small, fun, lighthearted things have shipped this summer, and it maybe gives the impression that we're not focused on serious stuff. New War, Empyrean, Squad Link modes, new tile sets, raids rethink, Deviri, but someone's small after-hours experiment is just that. We're working. And I believe that you are working. So I'm not even going to throw in my little digs at your little Guitar Hero stuff, but what I am going to say is, when it came to the Echoes of Umbra, this is something that was worked on in hours, during work time. And this was something that was poorly thought out. This was something that was not, you know, crowdsourced to double check if it's good. It feels so detached that it makes me worry. And this is kind of like the icing to the cake to all of the fun things we've seen, like, you know, everything. Fun is fun, but fun is also, at the end of the day, not something that progresses the game and makes the game as engaging as it could be on a deeper level. That's just my view from it. You know what I mean? Like Mogamu had said, I can't shoot the guitar can't shoot me. I can't use the guitar to beat something down. To me, it's not content. And I agree. Again, he's clarifying that it is an off-hours thing and that it is not, you know, something that they're devoting a lot of resources to. But even that small little attempt right there does make me say there are other things in this game that could have been an after-hours touch, you know? Little passion project that would make the game better. But anyway, that's just my, you know, current feelings about this. Let me know how you guys feel about it down in the comments below. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe I'm totally off kilter and you guys 100% love the Echoes of Umbra and it's something that you're going to be farming for every day so that you can keep that effect on you. I don't know. Let me know your feels. This was as positive as I could possibly be. Just as a heads up, I've actually recorded this video 3 times. So this is the best that we got, alright? So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. And sorry if I didn't quite hit it out of the park with the positivity thing, but sometimes you just gotta tell it like it is. I am that friend that will not pull punches on you. I'm that friend that cares enough about you to tell you when something is wrong. I am that friend that wants to make sure you're good. And from what I've seen so far, is Echoes of Umbra does not sound like a good idea. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.